Chargers to the Jets. What? Crazy. 60 mil for 1 year. Happens low. Currently sitting in traffic down in DC. Happens low. Ooh, yummy. All right, folks. We're back in the lab. We're back in the studio. This is Coppins Law Podcast. I'm your host, Rob, home of your sports and trending topics. What's going on? Glad to be back, man. I had to take a little bit of time off. It was my birthday. Where the clap at? All right, that's enough. It was my birthday. So topics for the night is my trip to Jamaica, and I'm definitely going to cover NFL's running back value. Is it diminishing, and why? That's the only thing I'm talking about tonight, so if you ain't fooling with it, then I'm going to holler at you. If you are, I'm still going to holler at you. First, let's get into it, man. So for my 38th birthday, went to Jamaica with Montego Bay. I loved it. It was much needed, man. If you guys know me or you don't know me, man, I was in the military went to boot camp at age 17, and I got out at 21, getting ready to turn 22. In that short period of time, I did a lot of traveling, you know what I'm saying? And I hated traveling. I don't know why I joined the military if you don't want to travel. If you don't want to travel, don't join the military. So as a result, you know, we every chance I got to come home, I came home. I was a homebody. So every weekend, every time I got paid, I hopped in the Crown Vic. I got paid on Friday. I was broke on Sunday because I spent all my money on gas, you know, going back and forth up the highway from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Maryland. And it wasn't until, I think my last year, when I had less than a year, well, I think I went to Myrtle Beach one time, went to like Norfolk. I didn't go nowhere. And I had friends that were like going to like legitimately like good places. People was going to Texas. People was going to Florida. They was going to Georgia. They was going to Alabama. They was going to New York. But you couldn't tell me nothing. I wanted to come home to Maryland. And the whole time when I was coming home, I wasn't even really doing shit. I was just either at the go-go, in the club, or just somewhere fried. Or I wasn't doing nothing, you know what I'm saying? But anything but just to sit in the barracks on the weekend or go anywhere else. So off topic, but just wanted to throw that out there. So my wife planned this for me. My wife, she into the traveling big time, and she trying to get me there. And, you know, as a result, she was like, you know, forget this. For your birthday this year, we're going out of town. Booked a trip. So at first I was like, damn, I wanted to go to California, man, because I went to California right before COVID started, and I really loved it. And I think that was the time when I was like, damn, you know, traveling ain't that bad. But I was like, we'll see. So we got to Jamaica, man. I will say, first of all, I want to thank my wife. I want to thank her for, you know, opening my eyes a little bit. You know, I was kind of low-key fighting her a little bit on the trip. Like, we could be doing something else. And another thing I realized is, you know, before, you know, we really started taking trips like that, when I used to ride on the track, motorcycle track, going back soon too, I pretty much used to travel to the track all the time. Now, granted, it was only like West Virginia or New Jersey or North Carolina, but I was doing that like, you know, between 1 to 2 times a month for like 6 years straight. So, you know, I guess at some point, you know, you got to bend a little bit, you know. So went on the trip, man. We got there, you know, we was in a nice little resort. The first thing I said, you know, when we got into the vehicle for our driver, I said, go ahead and take me so I can pick something up. I need to make a pit stop. You know what I'm talking about. So made a pit stop, picked up some little cushion or whatever, got to the hotel, blessed the room, and we were just chilling. But I think after about a day, we was like, shit, we got to get up out of here. You know, we had laid around for about a day and a half. So we like, well, let's do some excursions. So we did a couple of excursions, man. We did one of those timeshare tour things. Listen, If you ain't never done a timeshare, don't ever do that shit. You understand? These timeshares, these folks, like they'll give you a good tour. They'll like this. So this is what the lady was doing, right? The lady was cool. I think she was a sweet lady, but she was really like reaching. She was looking for anything to like try to like win our hearts, to win us over. So like, I was stretched. Like on my arm, on my left arm, I got my son's name, Aiden. So, I would go stretch and she was like, oh, who's Aiden? And then I'd be like, it's my son. Oh, don't you wish he was here right now? Hell no, I don't wish he was here right now. Because it's cheaper if he stays his ass home. The fuck? And then, she started asking all these questions, like, what do you do for work? Like, they would just, it's almost like they knew they had our information before we got there. And as a result, they started y'all, like, asking questions like, oh, she's like, oh, yeah, I got a dad, and he lives in Hyattsville, Maryland, and all this. And I'm like, come on, dog. You're telling me we in Jamaica. You telling me the only place you've been is Florida. Shout out to Chad, Derek, the editor. What's good, baby? You live in Jamaica. You said the only place you've been is Miami, but then you say you got a father that lives in Hyattsville. I ain't saying she was or wasn't telling the truth, but it sounded like some bull to me. But I entertained it. So after that, man, they get there. We went to eat. Probably had the best jerk chicken of my life on a resort, Seekers Resort. And after that, she's like, "Oh yeah, so if you could just put down $5,900 a day," and I was like, ugh. I was like, "Yeah, that's not gonna work. I appreciate it though." So next thing you know, she go call her manager. Yeah, she come down. She get to talking. Her hands a little big, so I'm being, I'm being cautious. I was like, them hands look a little too big. You know what I'm saying? And she's just like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. If you could do 2,500, and I was like, nah. She's like, but you have to understand the memories. I was like, this is a memory. Nah, you know what I'm saying? So then she was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna get the. So she bring a whole nother person. Now, granted, I just watched this same dude sit here and try to persuade the people next to us, talking the same little nonsense. So I already know what type of time they on. You know what I'm saying? Now, the timeshare guide, she was honest and she said, hey, we only really need two people out of, 2 people a day to sign up to kind of meet their quota. So I'm looking around the room. It's probably about 20 people in the joint. So I was like, yeah, we're not gonna be that one. So as the guy's talking, I mean, he persuasive, man. He looking me in my eye. He giving me some man-to-man talk. He was trying to break me down in that joint. And he was just like, the memories, man. He's like, look in my eye. He's like, the memories will start here. And I looked him in his eye and I said, nah, dog. I was like, nah, bro, I can't do it. So he gave up. He pretty much gave up after that. You know what I'm saying? So as a result, what's up, E? Shout out to E. So we went and sat outside, but then we kind of had to sit there because, it was a group of us, and the group was in there still getting work. They was still getting in that joint, getting backed in the corner, and we had to wait. So they coming outside and shit, looking to see if we okay. Nah, we good, man. We just waiting for the fucking bus. You know what I mean? So if you go to Jamaica and you have the option to do the timeshare, tell them people hell to the fucking nah. I get it, man. They make it sound sweet, like it's this sweet deal. But if the deal was that sweet, bro, everybody will have it. And I know a lot of people that don't fucking have it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a fucking scam. What else? Okay, so excursion. So we did that, right? And then we went to this restaurant out in town called Peppers. I had oxtail for the first time. Oxtail was good as fuck. I wasn't expecting all that bone and all of that fat. Pause. But it was good. That shit fucked my stomach up, but it was well worth it. It was well worth that half an hour on the shitter, right? So I had the what is it? Yeah, scammers everywhere. Yes, chat. Scammers are everywhere. I'm gonna get to the scammers. I'm gonna get to it. I got something for y'all for the scammers. So we had the jerk chicken. I had jerk fish. I had red snapper. Ooh, the red snapper kind of tricked me at first. I was like, damn, I can't eat a whole fish. But that shit was good as fuck. We wanted to try the KFC. We heard that KFC is like the best shit ever in Jamaica. But every time we saw one, the line was too fucking long. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's good. But I ain't waiting in line like that. You know what I mean? So Back to the excursions. I'm getting off topic. So for the excursions, man, Wayne Head Park Star. What's up, baby? Um, we went to this joint called Chukka. No, we did Bob Marley tour, and then we did Dunn's River. Dunn's River is this. It's like a little theme, like a little small water park type of deal, where it's they say it's one of their most visited attractions. So we went there, and you pretty much pay a couple dollars, and you get in the river, and you climb up a waterfall, and the guys assist you. So I was warned by our tour guide that says, hey, once you're done with the excursion, you got to walk through this little, kind of gift shop area. He was like, people going to try to sell you stuff. She's like, but be careful of the other folks who are going to try to act like they're giving you something for free. He's like, it's not free, and they're going to follow you, and they're going to expect you to pay, and they're not going to try to take it back. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we get done, you know what I'm saying? Took a lot of pictures. I thought the Dunn's River joint was sweet. I would recommend that. Beware when you walking through that gift shop area. So we get through the guy. He see my tattoo on my chest, and he's like, what is that? What's USMC mean? So I said, it's Marine Corps. He's like, oh, you military? He said, man, I got something for you. He's like, look, I made this especially for you, and it says like boss lady or something. He's like, this is for your wife. So he was trying to hand it to me. So he kind of like put it in my hand. But then when I seen what was going on, I said, no, you can take this. You can take this. And he's like, what you mean? I said, no, you can take it. You can take it. He's like, it's a gift for you. He's like, you don't like gifts? I said, nah, bro, take it. So I kind of like put it in his chest. Take it, bro. And he just had that look like, damn, I thought I had one. Nah, bro. So after that, man, we went to the Bob Marley joint. And that shit took us about an hour and a half to get there. Not because it was a long ride, not because it was up on a mountain that was 2,000 feet above sea level, because the roads are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Not only, in Jamaica, they're driving on the left side, but the roads is fucked up. So, you can only kind of, you got to get around the potholes as best you can. A lot of potholes, dog. A lot. Them roads ain't been touched in probably, years, decades. So by the time we got there, you know what I'm saying? They kept reiterating that, on the Bob Marley tour, you can smoke weed, you can smoke weed anywhere. Apparently you can't apparently you can't just freely smoke weed in Jamaica like we all think. I don't think so, because even, when I was indulging there, I had to find me a quiet spot, like on the beach somewhere. I couldn't or like on my balcony. I couldn't do it in the room or nothing like that. So we get to the Bob Marley joint, so that you got this guy, he's selling some big wall. What's happening? He's selling brownies. He got he got the regular pre-roll blunts. He's selling whole ounces. He's like, well, Bob Marley, he used to like the purple shit or whatever. So I'm like, all right, bet. I was like, well, let me get that. You know what I'm saying? So I get me a little purple joint. I get me a Bob Marley special. I was like, I'm down for the cause. So next thing you know, bro, I walk like 10 feet. Another dude walked to me. He's like, my brother. What? Sorry, if that's a bad accent, man, I won't make the accent. He's like, my brother. What'd he give you? He's like, oh, that's some shit. Let me give you what I got. And he was like, let me give you a lighter. So then he he lit the joint up for me, but then was like asking for a donation for me to use his lighter. So I'm like, okay. I was like, well, we're not doing that. So then he tried to hand me one of his joints and was like, yeah, if you want to make a donation. So I was like, all right, bet. So I reached in my wallet and I said, here you go. I give you 10. So then he's like, give man 20. So I'm like, huh? He's like, hey. So he stepped up and he was like, give man 20. I was like, first of all, get back. And I'm like, you want it back? I was like, do you want it back? So then he kind of turned around and walked away. I'm like, the fuck? Like, I know we in a whole nother country, bro, but I'm not on that type of time. You know what I mean? Don't be stepping up on me. So get in the joint. Needless to say, I'm gonna save my comments for what the weed is looking like over there. But the Bob Marley tour joint was quick. It was a lot of they trying to sell stuff. Kalo, what's up? It was a lot of them trying to sell stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we came in and we waited in the gift shop. You know what I'm saying? Then we went up some steps and it was another gift shop. And then we went up some more steps and there was a bar connected to a gift shop. So they showing us, a lot of Bob Marley's records and stuff like that. And we come in the hallway, it's another dude. He got weed trying to sell weed. I'm like, bro, this is the third person trying to sell me weed. You know what I'm saying? Then we mess around and, we going through the tour. We had some people perform. They was asking for tips. And then we went all the way up to the top of this hill where the graves were. And probably 20, 30 minutes later, the trip was over. So I was like, damn, bro, we went kind of far for this. You know what I mean? If you're a Bob Marley fan, I would say do it. If I had a choice to ever do it again, I'm going to say hell no. So then we leave. We went out to dinner. Next day, we went to this joint called Chukka Outpost. This is where you got your four-wheelers, your horseback riding, your zip lining, stuff like that. So we did zip lining, we did the four-wheelers, and we did the bamboo rafting. Rick, what's up? The zip lining was pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? At this point, the thing for the four-wheelers and the zip lining, this is just clearly entertainment to watch my wife terrified because she don't want to zip line and she damn sure don't want to be on no four-wheeler. The four-wheelers was lit. They was the big Polaris automatic joints. So anybody can get on them. And we just went around for about a half hour and that was it. So once we were done, we ate. We had some more jerk chicken. And then from there, we got on a bus and drove probably about an hour to do the bamboo rafting. I'm going to go, and I'm going to tell you right now, the bamboo rafting was by far the best part of the entire trip. That was the best excursion that you could do, especially if you with your significant other. I highly recommend the Chukka bamboo rafting. So you pull up, you're on this island. I think the island is called Lethe. And it's all village people. Everybody who work at this joint, they live in the village. You know what I mean? We was in them villages. We was with them peoples. We was supporting the island, you know what I'm saying? Like we were instructed, man, make sure y'all support the island. Bet. We gave up plenty of money. So we get on the joint, and they giving out like complimentary champagne or Red Stripe. So I was like, well, I don't drink. So the guy, he's like, I'll take care of you, man. Get your coconut. So we get on the raft. I posted this shit online, too. It's on my social medias. Make sure y'all following all that shit. So we get to rolling down the joint, and we're going down the river. Man, it's people on the other rafts. They got speakers on their joint. They got hookah on their joint. They smoking weed. These motherfuckers eating food. They got everything right on the water. So if you need something, he just gonna paddle your ass right over to it. Boom, get you what you need. He gonna keep on pushing. We didn't require that much. You know what I'm saying? We was just really out there for the experience. So we went a little bit down, and the guy, he said, I'm gonna get your coconut. So he pulled us to the side, tied us off, and then he went up in the woods. My man climbed up in a tree and got us 2 coconuts and cut them shits open and took 2 little tiny baby bamboos and cut them shits in the straws and gave us 2 coconuts. I looked at my wife, I was like, but we got to tip him. We got to tip him good. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, he's getting the tip, guaranteed. So we get down the joint, and this is where, I start asking questions. I was like, man, what's up with like the wildlife? What do y'all have here? And he said, we don't have nothing. Apparently, the only thing they have in Jamaica is cattle, a lot of stray dogs and cats, some exotic birds, and mosquitoes, and that's it. They don't have no snake. I was like, damn, y'all don't got like no snakes, no alligators. They don't have none of that shit. That's crazy. I thought everything outside of the United States, they had all types of wildlife, but they said they don't have none of that. So then he took these 2 rocks, special rocks, rubbed them together, and then was peeling the shit off. The shit came off like it was some lotion or something. And he was putting it on my wife's legs. I was like, hey, don't go past the knees. So put the shit on her legs, gave her a good little rub. We floated down the joint. He talked to us some more. He took a shit ton of pictures. Like, give me your phone, man. Was taking pictures. He was putting my wife in a position, like, put the joint here. She was taking the pictures. I said, damn, my man, high risk. You know what I mean? So I asked him, I said, how long you been out? He said they've been doing that shit for 20 years. So I'm like, bro, they be in them villages their whole life. My man looked like he was in shape. His feet looked like he been running. He been barefoot his whole life. But he was a great fucking guy. And then we left. You know what I'm saying? We went back. So that's the good stuff. I would highly recommend it. But I got to get into some cons, though. I got to get into some cons about Jamaica. Just some small stuff. Now, granted, the stuff that I'm getting ready to go over does not reflect the entire country. It just reflects my experience. I would still recommend anybody to go to it. All right, first and foremost, that weed is mid as fuck. You need me to say it again? Unless I picked up some tourist shit, that weed in Jamaica ain't what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be the creme de la fucking creme. That shit was some George W. Bush. I was better off just getting a vape or some gummies or something. Nah, It was okay, but I was expecting to be in goddamn cloud 9, and I wasn't even in the cloud. I was just right below it. What else? Them roads. I mentioned it earlier, but I'm gonna reiterate. Them roads in Jamaica is fucked up. And the motherfuckers that's driving on them roads can't drive for shit. No, they can drive. They just drive too goddamn aggressive. I don't know if we racing or we running from the police. I mean, we in these little buses. You know, they don't have Uber. You know what I'm saying? They got taxis and they got like taxi buses. So they got like the little, the little mini buses. You know what I'm saying? All the cars is either black, white, or silver. You might have an occasional red or something in here and there. Maybe somebody try to paint that shit themselves. Bro, they tailgating. You know what I'm saying? They excessive horn beeping. They going around blind corners fast as fuck. They going around people. They going around people in the oncoming traffic, knowing that the oncoming traffic is there. Fuck it, I'm going around them. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of big truckers. The truckers is driving trucks like they cars, like semis like they cars. You know, ain't nobody running no lights and no shit like that. But they cutting in front of people left and right. Everybody drives aggressive, dog. So what they do is when you in them mountains or you on them skinny roads, they still drive the same speed, but what they do is they beep. So if you're going around a blind left, they just successfully beep, 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 beep. So at least the person that's coming around the corner can hear them and they just slow the fuck down. Instead of just, slowing down, and you don't have to do that. That wouldn't make sense. But terrible drivers. Tips. Everybody want a fucking tip. Bro, the tipping thing, the tipping thing is excessive in America too, but it's more so like when you swipe in your car, you paying for something, do you want to leave a tip? Nah. I'm going to just give you an example. When we went on our excursion, our day 2 excursion, we got picked up at the hotel. The driver took us to Chucker Outpost. He had his hand out looking for a tip. We did zip lining. They asked for a tip. We did four-wheeling. They asked for a tip. Now, granted, I had like 3 or 4 wristbands on, and after that, I asked the lady, could she cut them off? She cut them off. She asked for a tip for cutting my wristbands off. Then we went with the driver, and the driver took us to the bamboo rafting. He asked for a tip. This is a different driver, but he asked for a tip. Then we get to the end of the rafting. We did tip him, but I'm gonna count that too. You see where I'm at? I'm already on my second hand. And then we got dropped off at the hotel. And he asked for a tip. Bro, 7 times in one day asking for tips. So, if you can, bro, cash. You going to Jamaica? This is probably any country outside the United States. Cash. Cash, cash, cash. Do not swipe your card if you do not have to. And I'm really talking about, like, if you in, like, a restaurant or something, yeah, that might be okay. But what I'm talking about, when you out in town and shit like that, do not swipe your card, bro. I'll tell you 2 instances. We went to a gift shop because we need to get some water shoes. So we go in the joint. So we get 2 pairs of water shoes. And I was like, well, let me get some raw cones and a grinder. And we picked up like 2 or 3, shirts. Picked up like 2 or 3 gift shop shirts, souvenirs. And that motherfucker rung this shit up. And it came out to like $230. So you're like, the fuck? So my wife already hip. I was kind of green to it. I ain't gonna lie to you. She stepped in. She's like, nah, just get the shoes. So I was like, well, just get the shoes and put the raw cones in there. We can't forget those. So the guy was like, oh no, I make a good price. He was like, we can do it for $199. So I was like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna work. So then he just kept going. He got down to $150. I was like, bro, just the shoes and the raw cones. That shit came up to $67. So I'm like, you telling me, I'm looking at the shirts. One shirt say 25, one shirt say like 30, another one say like I think 23 or 24. You telling me you went from 67 to $230. You tried to upcharge us an extra like fucking $100. Like we wasn't gonna be hip to it. So he acted like he had an attitude. I'm like, how you got an attitude? You didn't try to scam us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I could have pulled your ass over the counter. Left about it there. When we were at the Chucker Outpost joint, I had to get a locker. And I was like, damn, we out of cash. I done went to the ATM twice. You know what I'm saying? It's my fault I didn't have cash. So this is all self-inflicted. So I was like, I'm gonna just pay for a locker. So the lady was like, you don't have cash? So she started talking in Jamaican, pretty much talking shit because I don't got no locker. And I'm like, well, I mean, give me a locker. What the fuck? So she's like, oh, I need your ID. So I'm like, all right, bet. So get the car, get my ID, and we leave. Bro, the next day, somebody tried to take $150 out of my account. They tried to buy some shit from Walmart.com, $150. So the bank, I get the bank fraud joint. They didn't lock my card up and shit. So I got to call her, and she was like, yeah, it says here at 4 something this morning. I was like, that wasn't me. So luckily, if you don't got the fraud shit on your account, you should get that because that would save me some money. And granted, this was Thursday. We were leaving, so I didn't have, we were ready to go home, so I ain't really have to. It wasn't really no stress. But yeah, bro, they tried to hack my account. So between that, bro, and everybody asking for money, I at this point I had like a bitter taste in my mouth, and I was jolly ready to go. But yeah, they tried to scam me, bro. So cash only, bro, if you can, because yeah, everybody out there trying to get you. But overall, I will not let those few rotten apples dictate how I feel about the entire country. I think the hospitality is there. I think the people were really welcoming. I would definitely go back, probably at a different resort. I would do it with a group, you know what I'm saying? And I would most definitely try to find one driver that's going to drive us wherever we need to go the entire time we're there. Simple as that. Any other questions about Jamaica? Look that shit up. But that's my experience, and happy birthday to me. All right, so let's move on to sports. So this is a fairly fresh topic. I just seen this shit yesterday. I wasn't going to say nothing, but I was like, it's kind of a hot take, and I do have an opinion. You know how my opinions are. So as of lately, man, the question is, why has the running back position devalued? So this comes from Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, and Tony Pollard. As of lately, they were expecting long-term deals, and they didn't get it. So at this point, they're opting out of minicamp and, with no penalty. I think Tony Pollard did take the option, so it's really just Saquon and Josh Jacobs. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, Josh Jacobs plays for the Raiders, 25 years old. Saquon Barkley is 26 years old, plays for the Giants. Tony Pollard, he played for Dallas. They were expecting a long-term deal. Now, when I hear long-term deal and I'm thinking running back, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do y'all consider a long-term deal for running back? Like, real quick, Jalen, what's up? Jalen, what do you consider a long-term deal for a running back? I'll give you a couple seconds. Three years is a long-term deal? 4 years. Okay. All right, cool. We can roll with that. So I did a little research. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, the life expectancy, I don't want to say life expectancy, the span of good years for your average running back or even your superstar running back these days is like 6 years. And a lot of good running backs prior to them have been in the league from anywhere from 7 to maybe 11 years. So technically what you're saying is Saquon Barkley at 26 years old, these are veteran running backs. So my thing is, so you've been in the league. I don't know. Let's just take a guess. If they 25 and 26, let's just say they came in the league at, 20 or 21. So they're coming up on 5 and 6 years. And you expecting to get a 3 or 4 year deal. Now, I'm not sure of Josh Jacobs' injury history, but I'm very familiar with Saquon's. Saquon had a good year this last year that passed, but he was hurt. Prior to that, he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? He was the workhorse for the Giants when he got there. And as all football teams do with running backs of his size, they run them to the ground. And then we talking about devaluing a position. They're overworked. Like when you look at like these dual running backs, when you look at like your Antonio Gibsons or your Alvin Kamaras, who they don't just be running like that. They might do some block shit. They do a couple of passes. When you just a downhill runner like these two dudes, you gonna burn out. So my thing is this: you can go back and look at how many players like back in the day who was dogging, and you gave them that check, and as soon as you gave them that check, they was burnt out. Who's the last running back? Chat. Who's the last running back who got paid a pretty decent amount of money and ain't been doing it since? I'm gonna give you one guess. And he just got cut. Who am I talking about? Zeke, absolutely. Prime example. Zeke was cooking shit them first 4 years, dog. First 4 years, he was cooking shit. As soon as he got paid, you know what the problem is, dog? I think that they need to pay them sooner. Like, I think they need to give him 2 or maybe just 3 years and then pay him. Not 4 years, bro, because especially if you a high draft pick running back, you come to a team and you're automatically made like the main option. Bro, after them 4 years, you're going to be burnt, dog. It's not that many Frank Gores out here. It's not that many Adrian Petersons out here. Or any of these other guys who played for a long time. That shit is a dime a dozen now. Yeah, I know Derrick Henry spoke on it. Derrick Henry is fucking huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, he a different breed of running back. Like, he a big guy, but even him, I think he's going to burn out too, bro. And it's not taking no shots at them and no disrespect. It's the facts. Running backs do not last. They don't. You know, one of the most memorable running backs that I saw decline so quickly was Arian Foster. Played for the Texans. When Arian Foster was on, he was fucking on. He was running the fucking ball up their ass every game. Had crazy stats. I remember when he got paid. I remember when he cried when he got paid. And I remember him getting hurt. And then coming back and getting hurt. He was done. Paid that money, bruh. I'll give you another example. Where's Todd Gurley at? Y'all remember when Todd Gurley got paid? Todd Gurley was one of the most amazing guys I've ever seen run the fucking ball. And burnt the fuck out. Bro, they be burning out. That's why even when they get that money, it don't be no money. But they be like, Zeke signs massive contract for like 40 mil or something. I'm like, 40? That's just an example. I don't know the exact number, but like 40 mil. Like, that don't be no money. Or they be paying these motherfuckers like 20 mil, 4 years or something. They're not really paying them no money because the probability of them getting hurt is so high, whether it's a rolled ankle, whether it's a knee, whether it's an ACL, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's fucking whatever. They always get hurt, dog. There's only but so many running backs that play in this league that play for a long time that don't get hurt and just keep getting them checks. It's not that many. So when you sitting there talking about, should we pay Saquon? I think they should pay him something. But long term, I wouldn't give him no more than two. I would do a 2 year. If I had him my way, I would do a 2-year contract. I don't know about Josh Jacobs. I think he's a little younger. You probably give him 3. But Saquon had a catastrophic fucking injury, bro. And he came back and he's playing his ass off. But he's still, regardless of how good he played last year, he's still already been hurt. And now it's like, well, how much gas in the tank has he got? He's a young player. But obviously the Giants don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. So they're not offering him no long-term deal. He can go to another team. He can go to a team that fucking sucks, and he gonna get paid. What's the chat say? I agree. They should get their money earlier. The franchise tag is more than they're gonna get for a long term. That's true. Look, Of course, no player wants to want the franchise tag. I don't really understand the purpose of it, but at the end of the day, man, the running backs, like, I personally feel like it's the worst position that you can play, man, because you get used up, man. So, what's your number on the 2 year? See, I don't know, man, because I follow basketball and I see basketball. These paychecks be so fucking, these contracts be so outlandish. I would give him. I would give him 2 years. I would give him 2 years between 15 and 20 mil. That's for both of them. I think that's fair. 2 years, 15, 20 mil, however much is guaranteed. Or I would say 2 years, 20 mil, 10 guaranteed or something like that. Since they got the little guarantee thing. I would do 2 years, 20 mil for Saquon, and we can go from there. Do y'all chat? Y'all think that's fair? Let me know. Chad says franchise gives a player a year to prove their worth and a team to find a trade. Bro, and that's the thing. And this is why I understand why he doesn't agree with it. That's wasted time. Like, that's a waste of a year for someone who is on the cusp of being considered old. Bro, after 28 years old, you are old to be a running back. You are old. I mean, I know this shit sounds crazy, but on paper, a running back that is 28 years old is considered old because you got these young niggas coming out of college that's 20 and 21, fresh legs that's going to give you more. That's why I think the solution is, I don't know if this should be league-wide or this should just be position-specific, but I think you got to pay the running backs earlier, bro, because they take a fucking beating. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a couple of them out here that got some big contracts. Christian McCaffrey got a big contract. You got about 4 running backs with huge contracts, and then them shits come all the way down to like 10 mil. So, we'll see what happens, man. I'm curious to what they're going to do, but, I mean, we can't really sit there and act like this isn't a thing. Like, running backs get used up, and they get used up for cheap. And it's like everybody can't be a quarterback, and the thing is you can't compare it. You can't compare it to nothing else. You can't compare that to the quarterback. You can't compare that to the lineman. You can't compare that to the defensive tackle. You can't compare it to the receivers. Even though the offensive linemen and the defensive players, you know what I'm saying, they get down and dirty, but the running back, man, you getting hit, bro. You getting hit by up to fucking 6, 7, 11 players. And then you want to get paid, 10, 15 mil a year. Bro, it's only a matter of time. Somebody going to hit you in the leg, or you just going to pull a hamstring and you damage goods. Once you pull that hamstring in the NFL, bro, that shit hard to come back from. So, yes, O-line and D-lines get paid. They get paid. But, I mean, think about that. And honestly, I feel like them positions don't last that long either, but they last longer than the running back. Running back, that's the quickest position for you to go out, the running back. You out. And then, honestly, I think the next quickest position, well, that's my question. Outside of the running back, what do you think is the second position that has the shortest career lifespan? I'm going to say either defensive tackle or linebacker. And then from there, I'm going to go safety or cornerback for number 3. You think wide receiver got the shortest career? Depending on what type of running back you are. Are you going to be a Calvin Johnson who get all the catches but you get hit a lot? Or are you going to be a DeAndre Hopkins? You going to be slithery? Are you going to be a Deshaun Jackson? You only run bombs? Tight end? Okay. Well, yeah, that's another thing. What type of tight end are you? Are you a Jordan Reed? Are you a Travis Kelce? I think those are debatable. But definitely number 1 is running back. I don't think you could tell me nothing different. Good afternoon, Janae. But we'll see, though, man. That's all I got for y'all. Captain out.